had an amazing win after doing a one-on-one session with Meir.
I just completed a 7-day seminar. It was the most amazing week of my entire life.
Okay, so I just did my 4th seminar with Meir. Quite incredible.
This was the best webinar I've ever been on. I've handled an issue that I've been carrying with me for 10 years.
It's improved relationship with my husband, with my children.
Another valuable coaching session with Meir. It's really incredible to have somebody with you on your side.
Thank you so much, Meir, for that amazing reawakening.
If anyone follows even a bit of what he's been saying, it's going to be a different life for them.
Meir has taught such hugely valuable information to me. He really is truly a world expert in what he does.
Joining this program, the value is just like, wow.
From session 1, it was boom, boom, boom.
Be a part of the classes that Meir teaches. It is absolutely incredible.
I love you, Meir, and I love you, Guaranteed Prosperity.
Thank you so much for all that you do.
You go from here, but automatically through the ceiling.
You need to get into the class. Come join. It starts with you.
We just finished a great, amazing seminar, and so many barriers inside of me shattered.
There is free happiness, free success, and lots of money coming your way. So come to the seminar.
Okay, hello everyone. This is going to be a very special webinar. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready for part 17 of the Mind Camp? Yes. Today is 25 of January 2026. Okay, super excited. You should be, because I've prepared for you something amazing. But as you know, the result only if you participate. Without participation, you're wasting your time. So here we go. We are starting agreements. Welcome to your 17th out of 13 Mind Camp session of the GP University. No recording, please. No recording. Nothing I say today is true, unless, of course, it is true for you. Don't let me move from point A to point B before you understand point A. So you have the chat. If you have any questions, anything that you do not understand, ask me. If you don't agree, it's totally fine. But first understand before you agree or don't agree. Does it make sense? Excellent. Perfect. You're participating. I love it. The Mind Camp sessions are composed of short sections of theory followed by super powerful drills. Those drills needs to be executed exactly as instructed, as any change you will do will cause not the expected results, and that may be problematic for you. So I'm giving you a drill, and you need to do the drill exactly as instructed. So during the drills, you're expected to do the drills. It is not time for questions. The questions you will get are part of the manifestation of the drill. So I will ask you questions. If you will do the drills, you will see that you'll have questions. If you will actually do the drills will answer the questions, okay? So don't let me start the drill if you did not fully understand the drill, because during the drill, I'm not going to answer questions. Everyone in agreement with me so far? Type yes, yeah, why, something. Tell me that you are alive. Excellent, wonderful, beautiful, amazing, perfect. Okay, to get result, you must be rested at least 8 hours of sleep, eat well just before the class, no alcohol at least 24 hours before the class, and no drugs at least a week before the class. Have no interruptions or possible interruptions. Phone off, all alarms, notification, etc. off. Be in a space no one can come and interfere. Or in short, you need an environment that will allow you to have all your attention on the class. Your viewpoint should be, I'm totally willing to confront my condition, and I'm willing to fully communicate with Meir. Do we have an agreement? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to take off the gloves. Get ready. Here we go. Here we go. What is the prerequisite to handling any problem? What needs to happen before you can handle any problem, regardless of what the problem is? Money, relationship, body, you name it. Be upton, yes. What else? Knowing the root of the problem, yes. Realizing it, yes, very smart. Because, yes, communicating with the problem, very good, Kapil. Willingness, willing, confront, looking at the problem, very good, Lisa. Call Meir, yes, that's a very good idea. Okay, what come before? Okay, so here we go. There's one thing alone. The one prerequisite to handling any problem, you need to be able to communicate with the problem. You need to be able to communicate with its parts. If you cannot communicate with your heart, believe me, you're not going to control your heart. If you're not going to communicate, if you cannot communicate with your bank account, you're not going to handle the bank account. Yes, if you're not in communication with your wife, you're not going to communicate to control your wife or to handle her or to solve any problem with her. If you're not in communication with your husband, you are married. Yes? So you must be able to communicate with its part, with its component parts. But why? Why do you need to communicate in order to solve any problem? So the question is, why do you must be able to communicate with its part? You will not be able to know how to fix the problem if no communication. But why? You cannot communicate, you cannot control. Okay, why? To see its viewpoint, the problem's viewpoint? Whose viewpoint? Why do you need to be in communication? You cannot have if you cannot communicate. Okay, that's true. So if I communicate with it, I have it, no? I have the problem. But I'm asking, why do I need to communicate with the problem to solve it? Okay, so here we go. Here we go. This is a very interesting thing, okay? Because communication is communication only when it promotes its basic purpose. Communication is communication only when the communication promotes the basic purpose of the communication. And the basic purpose of communication is what? What is the basic purpose of communication? Why do you communicate? Why do anyone communicate? To help, yes. Why do you communicate? Understanding, to gain understanding, yes. The purpose of communication, purpose is always an action. The end result is understanding, yes? The end result of communication is understanding, but the purpose is to align intentions and by that, remove the barriers that hides you. I will explain. The physical universe has all kinds of counter intentions and other intentions. Okay, is that agreed? Yes. Now, when you start to communicate, when this is me, and I start to communicate with something, what I do, I say, listen, what I want to do is I want to align your intention with mine. If this is my intention, if my intention is here, the more I will communicate, the only purpose of communication is to align the vectors. So if I dance with you and I'm actually in communication with you, we are going together, we're aligning the vectors, we are not resisting each other. And if I don't bring that alignment of intentions, I'm not actually communicating. So if I push against you, let's say I push against you, this is not communication. This is actually resistance. That's a problem. Arguing, yes. So if you don't know that the purpose of communication is to align the vectors, you will try to be right. You will not try to bring about a flow in alignment. Vectors is a direction with force. Are you with me? So a problem starts when communication break. What does it mean, communication break? The vectors do not align. This is really amazing. You will have a problem the moment that you don't know that the end result, what you're trying to achieve with communication, is to align the vectors. You think that you need to do all kinds of things other than to be right, to prove your point, to teach, to show, millions of things. It's not communication. If it's not aligning the vectors, it's not communication. If it's not aligning the intentions, it's not communication. Are you with me? So you've been communicating, or you've been saying that you communicate, but every communication, because it's not aligning the intention, created a bigger problem in your life. So every second, you're a little bit further from your husband. Every second, you're a little bit further from your friends. Why? Because you don't know that this is your purpose. So how can you achieve your purpose? Aligning the vectors means that you and them must be in the going to the same, towards the same end result. Otherwise, you are actually not playing the game. You're playing two different games. So I'm not looking for agreement. I'm not looking for agreement. I'm looking for an understanding. And we will see exactly. So if you don't bring an alignment of the intention, otherwise it's not a communication at all. What do you get when you don't have alignment of intention? What do you get? I will explain barriers that hide you. Very good question, within a second. You get disagreement, you get fights, you get confusion. ARC break will explain what it means, yes? Yes, argument. Actually, otherwise you get something totally different. I will explain first what it is, and then I will tell you what it is, okay? But it's not argument and confusion, etc. This is later on. Okay, so everyone agreed that this universe started at one point. True or false? The universe has a starting point, yes? There is a beginning, yes? And it seems like the universe continue over time. It seems like into infinity, yes? You know that it's infinity because you don't know what it is. If you know what infinity is, it's not infinity anymore. Does it make sense to you? Yes? That's just a side note. It's very interesting. Okay, good. So we can call this area here, anything from here to here, we can call this thing the physical universe. So far, so good? So this is the beginning, and anything in that direction is the physical universe. Everyone with me? Okay. Now, what is the smallest number in the physical universe? The smallest number in the physical universe is 2. Is 2, yes. For every plus, there is minus. For every big, there is small. For every force, there is counterforce. And the atom is composed of electrons and protons. Nothing live alone. There is no nothingness. So far, so good? So we can say that the physical universe started with 2, and then it became 4, and then it became 8, etc., etc., etc. So far, so good? And in the physical universe, if I looked at something that happened a minute ago, it has a prior cause. Something caused it. So if I look at what caused this thing, my coffee, what caused it before is that I put coffee and water into here. And what caused that is that I warmed the water. And what caused that is something happened. So there's always a prior cause. There's always a reason. Is that correct? And the interesting thing is that here, when you create something, when you bring something like this two, what creates two is nothing. And I need to explain it for a second for the new people. So if this is the beginning is the point where something was not here and then it came about. The beginning of the iPhone was, let's say, 2000 and whatever. Before that, there was no iPhone. The beginning of this lesson was at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and before that, there was no lesson. Which means that if the beginning of the physical universe is with two particles, what created the two particles cannot be composed of two. Everyone with me or not? Make sense? So we can say that the physical universe is anything that composed of twos, and the spiritual universe or the creation universe is anything that is not composed of twos. It can be composed of 27 or 73. I don't care. But it's not composed of two. And if it's not composed of two, we call it nothing. It can be called Gigi. It's not important. It's just a name. The definition is this thing that do not compose of two, but have the ability to bring about two. So far, so good? So when I say, so for most people, present time is here, now. For most people, present time is now. But the moment that you say now, now is gone. So there's no now. There's only future that you will never get and past that never happened. Everyone with me? Yes? Which means that present time is not actually here. Present time is before the beginning. So when I say that it's the barriers that hides you, this is all the reasons is what hides you, which is here, from what you think that is now. Are you with me? The present is not ahead of time, it's before time. Before the beginning, not ahead of the beginning. Of course, if you can bring something out of nothing, the potential is infinite. Because you can bring anything out of nothing. So far, so good? Everyone with me? So the present is the source, 100%. The present is the source. Okay, so everyone get the concept, yes? Wonderful. So to align intention, and by that remove the barriers that hides you, otherwise it is not communication at all, but otherwise it is reason. Reason is not communication. Because reason do not align intention. Reason creates something that jail you. If I rely on reason, every reason I agree to, here I have endless potential. This is endless potential. And the more reason I have, the less potential I have until I'm dead. Because every reason limit you, limit you, limit you, limit you. I agree that this, and I agree to that, and I agree to that, and I agree to that. And more agreement, and more agreement, and more agreement until I cannot move anymore. I'm dead. So far, so good. Everyone with me? So how do you define reason? How do you define reason? Reason is prior cause, taking one away from source, anything based on the past, yes. An idea, okay. Referring to past experience, an excuse, yes. Okay. Reason. What is reason? How would you define reason? Reason is what happens when you are not there to create. When you are not there to create, you need a reason. Oh, it happens because of, I'm a useless thing and it is the cause. If I say it's happened because of you, I'm useless, you are God. So you are simply responding and not taking ownership. Yes, you are not taking ownership because I take ownership to something that already exists. It's not ownership, creating. Creation, the word creation means to bring something out of nothing. Otherwise, you change, you don't create. So reason, when you need reason, is because responsibility has dropped to such a degree that the physical universe tell you prior cause, something that happened before, tell you what will happen. Your total effect. So at the top you have creation, you can bring something out of nothing, you are unlimited ability. And at the bottom, you become a stone, and a stone don't create anything. Are you with me? If you look at any area that you have problem, you have reason for the problem. An area where you are able, you simply create. You just, no problem. You say, no problem. And it's like, of course, what's the problem? What, I need to play guitar? It's nothing. It's not a problem. I know. But if I don't know it's a problem, I need a reason. I still did not learn how to do that. Are you with me? Oh, I hate her because she did that. I don't like him because he did not do that. Okay, that's it. You are dead. You're admitting defeat. So reason is what happens when you are not there to create. Present is a moment without a reason. When you are totally present, there's no reason. You simply know. The highest level of knowingness. You know how to talk. You don't need a reason why you're moving the different muscles. You just know. And creation result in present. So if you don't create, you will have a lot of past that will give you a lot of reason that will make you super effect. Total failure. So failure is just the accumulation of reasons. It's really amazing. Present have to be a moment of truth because the truth is the moment of creation, yes? But truth is referred to a moment in the physical universe, and present is in the spiritual universe, is the moment before anything is physical. Yes. Mind-blowing, I agree. So you must be able to communicate with the parts of the problem, since the purpose of communication, since communication is communication only when it removes other and counter intentions that result in the mess that hides you. So if I can communicate and communicate and communicate and communicate with it, what will I get at the end? If this is a time, and this is my problem, and this is me, okay? I start to communicate with the problem, and I start to communicate with the different parts of the problem, and communicate and communicate and communicate and communicate. What will be the end result of me communicating with the problem? Affinity, yes. Yourself, okay. What will be the end result? Alignment, it will melt, yes. What will be the end result? Present time, yes, no problem. When I look at something and 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 look at something, the end result is that I find the truth about it. Is that correct? What is the definition of the word truth? What is the definition of the word truth? The moment of creation. Yes, the moment of creation in the physical universe. So truth is the original. Truth is something without a change. If I change anything, it's not the truth anymore. And generally, you can change time, place, form, or event. If I said that this lesson started at 1 p.m., it's not correct, incorrect time. If I say that the place that I'm right now in Israel, it's not correct, I'm in Cape Town. If I state that the form right now that I'm alone in my office, it's not correct, I'm not alone. And if I say that I'm not talking, it's also not correct because it's not the event. So the truth is the exact time, place, form, and event. It's the moment of creation, is something without alteration and unique for the truth in the physical universe. Truth is the only thing in the physical universe that do not contain a change, which means it does not continue. Truth do not continue. If it's continue, it must contain a change. So if I communicate, the more I communicate with the parts of the problem, the more I find the truth. And eventually, once I found the truth, it does not continue. Does it make sense? Again, I will explain again. So the truth is something that have no change. In order to have a continuation, I need the time to move. The place must move because we are on a planet that's moving. The form change because things get hotter, colder, etc. And the event change, what actually happening with the object change. So truth is the moment of creation. It has no time, no place, no form, and no event. It's just the zero time. So for something to continue, it must contain a lie. What does it mean, a lie? A change of the original. So if I come to you and I have an argument with you and I argue, there is some kind of a lie, some kind of a change of the original. I say, I love you, and you understand, I like you. It's not the exact thing. And that's it. From that moment, there will be a continuation of a problem that you will carry. And the problem is that because once you start to put a lie, the lies will grow. One lie will cause another lie, will cause another lie, will cause another lie, will cause another lie, will cause another lie. Eventually, the lie will be so big, which means the distance between you, this is you, the original, and what's happening now is so big that you cannot stay together. Are you with me? So you must be able to communicate with the parts of the problem, since the purpose of communication, since communication is communication only when it removes other and counter intention that result in the mess that hides you. Why would I want to together with a lie? I don't want. I want to remove the lie. You want to stay together with someone because you love someone. It's your son. But now you have disagreement mean lies. So you eventually separate. And the mess that hides you is this thing, is prior. So you start with the lie, you say plus and minus. So there's a lie, because which true is the plus or the minus? And this thing creates another thing. And this is create another thing and another thing. And every time you agree that you have limitations, but you don't. Are you with me? So far, so good? And otherwise, it is reason. Communication is the master key. The one that opens every door that holds you captive. The one no cell survive its turn. If you actually communicate, understanding the purpose, which is to align the intentions, it is the master key that opens every door that holds you captive, because what holds you captive is miscommunication. What takes the life out of you is miscommunication. broken communication. Are you with me? The basic question of man is to communicate or not to communicate. This is the question. No cell survive its turn. No jail cell survive its turn. The jail cell will open. Okay. I will explain what is communication within a second. So let's look at communication for a second. Okay. Communication, this is person A and this is person B. Yes. Communication is the process of taking a particle from person A across the space to person B, creating a duplication at the mind of person B. Not an agreement, just a duplication. So far, so good? I'm not looking for an agreement. I'm looking for a duplication in communication. And communication, it's one-sided. It's never two-sided. Duplication, if I say something here, A, I want you to get exact copy here, A. I don't want you to get A minus 1. The exact copy. Duplication means exact copy. Okay, so far so good? And then the cycle turns around and B has a particle and it brings it across the space to A and create a duplication here. Now, every duplication remove a lie. Because it's truth. You fully communicated something. You fully duplicated. So every duplication remove a lie. And those lies are the counter and other intention that you have. I will explain again. So do you get the idea that the truth is 100% duplication? It's the original, yes? Everyone get that? So truth is number one, full duplication. And number two, truth has no continuation. Would duplication still be agreement as well? No. Because agreement, the word agreement means a limitation that I take on myself. I want you to understand that I have a blue shirt. You must then agree blue shirt. No, not agree, just understand. Just have a copy. Blue, blue. Okay, no problem. No valuation, no value, nothing. If I say this is beautiful, I don't want to hear what you think, nothing. I just want you to accept that I say this is beautiful. So there is communication or no communication, but what is the miscommunication? Okay, I will explain. Miscommunication is when I say it's blue and you understood it's bluish. But when I duplicate it, is it not the original? If I duplicate, it's the original. If I duplicate, if I get the exact time, place, form, and event, it's the original. That's the purpose of communication. Is it acknowledgement? No, it's not acknowledgement. Acknowledgement is a different word. We're talking about right now about communication. Yes, is it creating a clear understanding of your perspective in the other? No. Don't make it. I'm saying exactly what it is. Just a duplication. I have here a box, and I want you to get the box here without any evaluation of your own, without any invalidation, without adding, changing, nothing. Copy, paste. Nothing. No evaluation, no invalidation, nothing, just duplication. It's very difficult for people because they always want reason. So it means the time, place, form, and event has a leak in its true. We have Miscommunication, so no yes, if you don't have duplication, if anything change, any change, it's not communication anymore, it's miscommunication. It is one way. If other doesn't receive it, it's your job to make sure that he receive it. If he didn't receive it, there's no communication. So the first thing to understand that when I communicate, this is me, I'm cause, there's distance, and there's affect the other person, and I create here a duplication. If there was no duplication here, the cause is not cause. If I said turn left and you understood stand, the cause is not cause. The originator is the cause. Then if they hear I like you, then you are not cause. You did not communicate. That's why communication is one-sided. Otherwise, who is responsible? The lie that communication is a two-way thing bring about the inability to separate the source of a problem, and so the problem never gets solved because always it's the other side. The originator is the cause, he is responsible. Everyone with me? So if I understand communication and if I know how to bring about duplication, I will be a giant amongst men. And if not, I will get older and older and older and weaker and weaker and more useless and more useless. So far, so good? If I say I love you with my communication and she listens to I like you, how can I improve my communication? I mean, is it not the fault, right? Okay, I will explain. So the first thing to understand is that if I say something, if I send the communication, it's me 100% responsible for your duplication. Now, this is removing and breaking all the agreements that you have because you don't really understand the word responsibility. You don't fully understand that you can be cause. You don't know that you can be cause because you've been for many, 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 many years blaming everyone around you. 90% of what you do is blaming. No, sorry, no, I'm exaggerating, not 90, maybe 99. Or 100, yes. This is for the advanced students. And because you've been blaming, every time you blame, what you do, you hand causation to the other part, but he doesn't want it, and you don't want it, so there is chaos. What if someone say, no, I don't blame, I love people and I don't find fault? Wonderful. If you love people and you don't find fault, then you will bring duplication. Then wonderful. Then you God, because you can bring duplication. Then you will say, let it be light, and there will be light because the other side will duplicate it. That's God. So what happened when the responsibility go down, the person don't even know that he's blaming. So what would be example of blaming day to day? Oh, I'm tired. I blame the body. Oh, I didn't see it. I blame the eyes. He started, I'm married, she's beautiful. Wait, he didn't buy. Oh, I have to rest. Every single second, people blame, nonstop. Even if you're on the phone and the line is not so good, you immediately blame. If you're in a very good condition, you blame the network, but usually you blame the other side. It's never your reception, it's the other side reception always. Are you with me? And as you go down the scale, as you deteriorate, you don't even blame. You're just being an effect. And being an effect, when something happened to you, it's still blaming. People die in order to prove to someone that he was wrong. People have accidents to prove to their father how wrong he was. Are you with me? So without learning how to bring about duplication, without learning how to actually become cause and bring about duplication, you are wasting your time breathing. Because you are not alive. You're trying not to die. Totally different story. Are you with me? This is a hard truth to swallow. This is very hard truth to swallow. Yes. Exactly, everyone. It's not only you. You are just a little bit more responsible, so you can realize that. You have to learn how to communicate. It's not by mistake that every single thing that I'm doing is towards getting you to be more aware, to be more source, because only source can become cause. So you'll need to learn how to communicate, and I don't want to get into it right now, but the seminar in Cape Town that we're going to do in March is all about how do I bring duplication. This is really the seminar. We're going to talk about the tone and emotion and this and this and that, all tools to bring about duplication. Because if you cannot bring about duplication, even if you understand the material, you're still going to fail. Because they don't understand and no one survives alone. Are you with me? Source, yes. Source is the nothing that can bring about something. The emanation point. And even when knowing that datum, even if you know this datum, most instinctively, insanely choose not to communicate, even after you know it. So instead, they choose blindness over communication, criticism over reality, distance over affinity, every single time. Even if you know that you are killing yourself, you will choose blindness over communication. You'll choose criticism over reality. You'll choose distance over affinity. They may shout, they may strike, they may say nothing, but they always withdraw. They always withhold. They're hiding. They don't reach, they don't communicate, because in order to communicate, you need to send the particle to reach out, to send a particle across the space. And you'll see that if you try to communicate once, try to communicate second, the third time when the opportunity to communicate comes, you say, you know, why don't you communicate now? You don't want to. Are you with me? Yes, it's a lie. And in that withholding, they erode the understanding. So if you withhold communication, as most people do, they don't want to communicate. They become lonely. It's just withholding communication. They think about the past. It's just withholding communication. You understand? People that worry, they just withhold communication with their environment. So they prefer to worry about something that may never happen. It's just a lower level of communication. Are you with me? So, and in that withholding, they erode the understanding. First affinity, they reduce the affinity. I don't like you. I don't like to do that. I do only what I like. Nonsense. You should do what's needed, not what you like. If it will be what you like, you will probably be all day on ayahuasca or something. Yes? Nonsense. You don't do what you like, you do what's needed. Are you with me? First affinity, then reality, until communication itself falls silence. They prefer to be quiet. They prefer not to say. And they do it in many ways. They disconnect. Even if what they disconnect from will save their life, they disconnect. Oh, and now they start with the justification. They were very bad for me. They didn't behave well. When I said they didn't behave well, they are God and I'm useless. I give them the key for my jail cell. Because until they will not decide to be not bad to me, I'm in the jail because look what happened to me. I'm a victim. I'm a victim. But it sounds very good. I'm a victim. It's very good. It's very admirable in this society. But not effective, not useful. And by doing so, though they may still walk the street, still breathe, still speak, still occupy space, they end their life, not by death, but by failing to understand. Because you cannot understand what you are not in communication with. You actually end your life the moment that you decided that it's better not to communicate. And it's not important if it is because you committed a sin and you need to hide it. And it's not important because you committed the sin and then you got hurt and you say, I don't want to get hurt. And it's not important if it is because someone did something to you or because you're afraid. You end your life because you cannot control what you don't understand. And you cannot understand without communication. And you deteriorate because the word understanding is actually the definition of the word life. You are as alive as you understand. And if you want to prove it, try to talk to a stone. Stone don't understand, and so they are not alive. And chimpanzees understand more, so they're a bit more alive, but not as much as people. Are you with me? And old people, when they stop understanding, they become less alive. But you can have an old person that understands and sharp, and he's more alive than a 3 years old. And stronger and smarter and everything. And so they choose safety over life and silence over love. So far, so good? Does understanding result in participation? Understanding result in life, and when you are alive, you want to create. And when you create, the manifestation is you have to participate in the game because you're so powerful. Participation is the manifestation of how powerful you are. When you are powerful, you'll be willing to play the game, so you will participate. And when you are useless, you will hide behind a keyboard or behind some other nonsense justification why you will not participate. So you can look at the person. If he doesn't participate, it's mean that he's useless. Always choose understanding because understanding is life. Makes sense? And while they are not buried in the ground, they are buried in the past. And the tragedy is not that they suffer. It's not the problem that they suffer. The tragedy is that they could have lived. They could have lived. It's nothing. Just communicate. Learn how to communicate. I fake reality that communication after rejection is begging, which means losing. Yes, it's just another method to blame. It's just another method to blame. So then if someone from an old generation say, I don't really understand social media, they don't want to communicate with it. And yes, because they've been committing so many sins before. So now the worst thing is to communicate to a lot of people. I'm with an old generation, and I not only understand social media and use it, I can program it. We talk about past was not existing. How can they be buried in the past? Because past is a consideration. You can consider anything. This is how powerful you are. It doesn't mean that it's there. The past never happened, but it doesn't mean that you cannot create it. That's why your attention must be on there, because you need to create the past all the time. Otherwise, it will not be there. That's why if you worry about the past and I put a gun to your head, you forget about what you are worried, because you stop creating it. The past never happened, 100%. Never happened. The truth, why the past never happened? Because truth has no continuation. So when something happened, if it has no continuation, it didn't happen. It's been created, but not happened. Why problem arise in the first place? Because you dropped communication. Dropped communication. At the beginning of the problem was like that. You are so powerful, you are God. But being a God is very, very boring. You have no barriers. So in order to create a game, you created a game. You said, okay, well, let me put a barrier. But I know I'm a God. I know I can move it anytime. So it's a game. And then you said, but this is too small of a problem. I'm going to play a basketball against a 3 years old. So I see it's nothing. So I tie one hand behind my back, and then two hands behind my back, and then I tie my legs, and then I tie my hands to my legs, and then I close my mouth, and then I glue my eyes, and then all of a sudden it's too much. But I cannot get out of it. Because I'm so powerful, I create more and more and more and more and more and more barriers over billions of years. And all of a sudden, I forgot I created the barriers, and I start bowing to the barriers. That's why it's very easy to release anyone from this jail. Communication. Bridget, do you agree that something that happened at 0 time? Yes or not, Bridget? Yes. So 0, what happened? Do not have continuation. True or false? So if what happened has no continuation, it means it's never happened. True or false? For something to happen, it needs to have a duration. So the past never happened. You can then go and consider and create it. So you can be here going forward and looking stupidly backward and putting it more and more and more and more and becoming slower and slower and slower and slower, because you need to put more and more and more and more of the past. So you put less and less and less of attention onto now, and you put more and more and more attention on to creating the past that never happened. You just printing, it's not actually lies. You don't print lies. You just print something and you call it the past. So if I have barriers because of my past, nothing happened because of your past. It's happened because of you. If you could just release it to 0 today, technically you can, but there are many reasons why you don't, but it's super easy to throw it away. Easy, but you cannot, because you are so ethical and you've agreed for so many years that it's like that, so you cannot break your own word. That's why we do what we do, to take you through a process in the seminar in Cape Town that will allow you to let go of this nonsense that's called past. How do you define willingness? If you don't communicate with something, you will add lies. If you will add lies, it becomes a barrier. How would you define willingness? selflessly throwing yourself into something. Okay, you don't do nothing selflessly, by the way. Everyone always, 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 always is totally 100% thinking about themselves. We just need to define themselves and you'll see that it's correct. The ability to confront, realizing one's own will, the decision to communicate, consider that I'm here, something you really want to do, my own volition, the decision to do what is needed despite the barriers. Consider I can. Excellent, excellent. Willingness. I'm going to give you a different viewpoint on willingness, okay? People that have been with me for more than a day, it's new for you. Willingness is the manifestation of self-determined yes, the decision to communicate. Willingness is just the manifestation of the willingness to communicate. So if I'm willing to communicate, if I'm communicating, yes, I will have a lot of willingness and no barriers. And if I'm not communicating, I will have very little willingness and a lot of barriers. So when the willingness is high, the barriers are small. And when the barriers is high, the willingness is small. And when you see high barriers, you see low communication. And when you see low barriers, you see a lot of communication. A rich person communicates a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. And so he has no barriers, no physical barriers, no money barriers. He may have other barriers. He may have barriers with his wife because he does not communicate with her, but he knows how to communicate with money. Are you with me? Or with his clients? So far, so good? Okay. Now, and from that yes of yes, I will communicate, from that willingness, barriers grow smaller, courage appears, ability shows, motion expands, and life gathers all the qualities we call good. So when you are willing, good things happen. Why? Because you put it by communication. Unwillingness is the other determined no. You never say no. Something else say no. Other determined command not to communicate. You, the spirit, never say not to communicate. There are other forces that you are not aware of that cause you not to communicate, despite the fact that now you know that it's right to communicate. But when this decision not to communicate comes about, it's not you that making the decision. You just don't know that it's not you, so you blame yourself. But you know that it's not you, so you blame other people. So fear or conditioning operating. So fear and conditioning operating will be the manifestation of unwillingness, yes? Other determinism, undetermined no. It's a command not to communication, not to communicate. And from that no, problems multiply. Motion slows, and all the qualities we name bad take form. So the more you decide not to communicate, the worse your life will become. To communicate is to be. To withhold communication is not to be. And in that choice, every life is written. Yeah. Now I'm going to do a drill with you. And the drill goes like that. I'm going to give you a command and you do it. And when you do it, I need you to press a Y on the computer to say that you've done it. Again, it is not time for questions. It is time to do the drill. You will see that all the questions, whatever comes up in your mind will be solved once you do it. Okay? Okay, so are you ready to start? Show me the Ys. Yes. Okay. Recall a problem. Recall a problem. Okay, perfect. Now hold it in view. Like see this problem, like hold it in view, okay? Now, what part of this problem are you unwilling to communicate with? Stomach, okay. What part of the problem are you unwilling to communicate with? Of course, if you have any realization, you tell me. Win, excellent, John. Good. You stop after a win, yes. What part of this problem are you unwilling to communicate with? Excellent. What part of this problem are you unwilling to communicate with? What is this thing that you're unwilling to see? You don't even know that it's there. You're hiding it so well that you never actually saw it. There is some small glimpse of it, but you never actually were willing to actually look at it, communicate with, duplicate, bring about the truth. Okay. What part of this problem are you unwilling to communicate with? I literally felt I was not in my body during that picture. That's amazing, Bridget. Very well done. I would like to indicate you went exterior. Very nice. Yes. What part of this problem are you unwilling to communicate with? Have a look. What part of this problem are you unwilling to communicate with? Look at the problem and spot what is it that you're unwilling to communicate with? Because if you'll know what you're unwilling to communicate with, you'll know what you should communicate with, and now it become under your possession, and of course things will improve. If you think you got it, you got it. You don't need to think. Like if you think you got it, you got it. Otherwise, how will the idea come to your mind? Many parts, Jesse. Pick up one part. Just one part. Win. I left the scene during that problem, unwilling to confront. That's amazing, Bridget. Very nice. Okay, very good, very good. Kapil, very good. Win. I understand that everything I do not feel good and enthusiastic to communicate. It is something I have to confront. Yes. All the problem is on my side. Yes, my responsibility to confront. Amazing. What knowingness are you unwilling to know in regard to this problem? Excellent. So what knowingness are you unwilling to know in regards to this problem? Stop at a win, yes? Stop at a win. Only those people that did not get a win so far, did not get a realization, something did not shift. What knowingness are you unwilling to know in regards to this problem? Only if you didn't get. Excellent, very well done. Good. What are you forcefully not knowing? Okay. That I created everything, that's correct. Wow, Anita, that's amazing. My eyesight become clearer. That's amazing. Very well done. Wow. Wow. What knowingness are you unwilling to know in regard to this problem? Something that if you will know, it will make you wrong. Now, here's the next one. What communication are you preventing from occurring? What communication are you preventing from occurring? What communication are you blocking? Excellent. Do we have anyone that did not have a realization or a win or a shift or a release? Anyone? No. Okay, very good. Very, very good. Let's continue. Now, you are aware only of what you are willing to some degree to communicate with. You're very welcome. Thank you, Anita. You're aware only of what you are willing to some degree to communicate with. True or false? Good, Christiana. Yes. Molly. Agree with that, yes? And you can communicate only with what you create. True or false? This is not as obvious, but I think that you get it. True. Okay, no question about it. Excellent. Very smart. Now, to confront is to communicate with what you have created. The word confront means to communicate with what you have created, which means that if you do not know that you created it, you cannot confront it. If you blame, you cannot confront. So if you cannot confront, you cannot communicate. And if you cannot communicate, you cannot be aware of it. So you will always go in a dark forest. You will always attack the wrong target. You will never know who is the real enemy. You will shoot your friends and be unaware of your enemies. And you do that all day long. You fight with people that are not really your enemies. And you break relationships with people that are not really your enemies. And the proof is that you destroy your body. You make your body sick. Are you with me? It's quite amazing. To confront is to communicate with what you have created. Of course, you created your body. Who else? When you die, you leave your body and the body gets deteriorated. So it's not that you created your body, you create it every second. So to confront is to communicate with what you have created. Nothing more, nothing less. You are aware only of what you create. What you will not create, you cannot face. Can you repeat again the point with confront and communication? So if I cannot confront something, it's because I did not consider that I created. So let's say that this is me, okay? And I did not create Chakachuka, okay? I did not create it. So I cannot communicate with that. I cannot confront it. And once you hear Chakachuka, it's like, I don't know what it is. But you are the one that knows. The spirit is the thing that knows. You bring something out of nothing. So if you cannot confront it, if you cannot communicate with it, it means you did not create it. Because everything that happened here, you first put it there and then you say, oh, wow, amazing. Make sense? Most people think that this is the body, this is the spirit, and some of them have mind, some not. I'm joking. And let's say that this is a car here, okay? And this is a source of light. So most people think that the source of light hit the car, go to the eyes, go to the brain, and from the brain, something happened. That's what people think. True or false? If that was true, you'll see that few things. Let's say that this is me, okay? And this is the body, this is me. And what I look at is not a car, but I look at a star. And the star is 100 million light years away. And there's sun that hits the star, and the light come to me, and my brain say it's there. By the time it happened, there was 26 years past, or 260 years, or 2,600 years, which mean that what I deal with is bullshit. It's gone. It's not there. It's not true. It went through so many changes in the way here, so many changes that what I see is definitely a lie. True or false? Which means I'm not in communication. True or false? You all agree with that, yes? Now, if it is not 100 million light years away, but only 50, is it the same or not? Yes. What if it is not 50 million light years, only 1 million light years away? Is it still the same or not? Same. What if it is only 1 year away? Is that the same or not? What if it is a millimeter away? Is that the same or not? It's the same because everything changes at the speed of light. So this is not true, yes? You're dealing with lies. You're not in communication. What actually happening is the following. This is you. You put something there, something out of nothing. Your car is not my car. Your red is not my red. Then light hits it, come to your eyes, ignite something in your brain. You take that, compare it to the picture in the mind, and you give a command to the brain that send commands to the nervous system and the glands and move the body. But it's you that create it, so it cannot affect you negatively, because when you create something, it's the truth. You're dealing with the truth, even if you put it far from you. Are you with me? So aberration, insanity, failure happen the moment that you start to blame. What does it mean, starting to blame? You have reason. It is not you. There is reason. Are you with me? Yes, Gali. No one in the world knows these things. I agree with you. It's amazing. Yes. Yeah, 100%. You give away your power. 100 billion%. What you will not face, you cannot communicate with. And what you cannot communicate with will never fully exist for you. So when I create war, etc., it is that same system where I'm just bored on some level. It started with you wanted the game. It's deteriorated into you becoming an effect. So right now, if it's hurting you, it's not a game. Because the purpose of a game is fun, not hurt. So the moment that the game stops being fun, it's not you anymore. You drop the responsibility. You're now into the cycle of blame, shame, regret. It's really amazing. And what you cannot communicate with will never fully exist for you. Awareness is the manifestation of communication, not a function of the mind, but of courage, the courage to communicate. Awareness is the manifestation of communication, not a function of the mind, but courage, the courage to communicate, the courage to be on the chat, the courage to participate, the courage to get another viewpoint as it is without evaluation, without invalidation. And otherwise, you have only cowardness. Yes, it is unbelievable. That which you are unwilling to communicate with, cannot communicate with, or do not yet know you need to communicate with, does not argue with you. It does not resist. It does not fight. It simply fades. It disappears entirely from your universe the moment you stop creating it. Not because it's gone, but because you are no longer there. And where creation stops, awareness cannot remain. For what is not communicated with cannot be understood, and what is not understood cannot be controlled, and the effects appear. Not as punishment, for you are unpunishable, the spirit, but as consequences, as intelligence lowered, ability reduced, creativity cut off at the root, life grows smaller, duller, heavier, because you are not willing to communicate. That is not failure. This is absence. The absence of affinity, of reality, of communication, and of understanding. And when these are absence together, they manifest as an absence of willingness, which appears as stupidity. So when you don't have affinity, when you don't like people, when you don't have reality, which means you cannot duplicate anything because you duplicate it, not because you evaluate it or invalidate it. When you cannot communicate, when you cannot understand, you will see that the end result is stupidity. Not stupidity as an insult, but as consequences. And the tragedy is not that life becomes difficult. The tragedy is that it becomes unlived. You are not living the life you are in. We have many things we have created and forgot about. Yes, if you have created and forgot about it, it's not created anymore, because creation have no continuation. This describe my tiny, limited life before I met you. Yes, Curtis. Thank you for helping me escape the trap. You're very, very welcome. You cannot perceive what you are unwilling to communicate with. In other words, perception ends exactly where communication is withheld. So when you stop communication, you don't see anymore, and so you will act stupidly. But you will be sure that you know, because that knowing is supplied to you by an external force. I'm having so much clarity with new tools and most excited. Mahalo, yes. Listen, you cannot perceive what you are unwilling to communicate with. And when perception ends exactly where communication is withheld, then most people are unwilling to communicate. They not just stop talking, they find fault, they criticize. Yes. Perception ends exactly where communication is withheld. So if you look at fear, you will see that fear is a state of imperception. You're just unwilling to communicate, so you're afraid. So what you're afraid of do not exist. Perception ends exactly where communication is withheld. The question on communication, if we perceive something in life that is a point of conflict, how do we connect with others in a way that takes responsibility for the whole creation to resolve it? You come to the seminar and I will teach you. You need to come to the seminar. There's many things that you need to learn. Is communication the opposite of resistance? How will you define the word resistance? I'm still having trouble with understanding the definition of communication. Communication is the ability to create duplication at the receiving end with the purpose of aligning the intentions. So resistance is something totally different. Resistance, the word resistance, I defined resistance is if this is here and I resist this thing, what I do, I hold it close in order to avoid. If I resist you, I hold you close in order to avoid. It's the ultimate in stupidity. I hold you close because you are bad in order to avoid you. I want to avoid you, so I resist you. Hold close in order to avoid. It's the most stupid thing you can do, but everyone resists everything. Hold close in order to avoid. Are you with me? It's like, what? Yes, amazing. Yes, totally. What does not communicate remains hidden. So you understand, it's remain hidden from you. Not because it's unknowable, but because it's unmet. Communication is the prerequisite to control, for only what you are willing to meet can be guided, shaped, or held. What you are unwilling to communicate with, you will eventually lose control over, and it will hurt you. So you stop communication with him because he was really bad and he hurt you. But by cutting the communication is what eventually will kill you because you lost control. The moment that I cut communication, I lost control. It's totally insane action. It's totally reactive action. It's an action of insanity. To cut communication, the only wrong thing to do is not to communicate. More than that, you are as alive as you can communicate. I don't know if you try to talk to a dead person in the grave, they don't answer, yes? And they cannot affect anything because they are dead. They are total effect. They disintegrate. That's what happened to your life. You are in an open grave. And you get disintegrate to the degree that you are unwilling to communicate. And the first way that you are unwilling to communicate is by not insisting to understand every word and symbol. Not because it is hidden, but because you are. What you are unwilling to communicate with you will eventually you lose control over, and it will hurt you. Not because it is hidden, because nothing is hidden from you, but you are hiding. You're welcome. And the moment you enter communication, perceptions return, not as something you merely see, but as something you participate in, something you shape, and eventually something you create. So you start with communication that expand into perception, that expand into something that you shape, that expand into creation. Okay, wonderful. Everyone with me? Perfect. Okay. So here is the next drill. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Here is the drill. Okay, I want you to spot something, anything. Just spot something. Look around and spot something. Okay? Now, for no reason at all, whatever come to your mind, write it down, okay? And you can write it down either on the chat or on your computer or just make a note, okay? So whatever come to your mind when I ask the next question, spot something, and now this is something will come up in the following way. What are you withholding? You spot something, what are you withholding? Yes, exactly. Spot another thing. Good. And then answer, what are you withholding? In a totally new unit of time, what are you withholding? Win, excellent. For no reason at all. Spot something, and then for no reason at all, what are you withholding? Okay, good, excellent, very good, win, excellent. Very good. So I want you to spot something random, totally something random. And then for no reason at all, does not need to be reason, it's not logical. What are you withholding? Very good, excellent. Win. Excellent. So much love. Oh my God. Wow. Wonderful. Yes. Okay. That will be all for today. We will continue next week. There's much more. Yes. Enjoy your wins. Share them. And I highly suggest that you will find a way to join the South Africa seminar. It's the only thing that will save you from the dwindling spiral you are in, from the jail you are in. Okay. Thank you. I love you. But mainly, thank you for participating. And even if you don't know, thank you for helping me, helping this planet become sane. Even if you don't know that that you're doing it, you do just by you being here. So thank you. I love you. Mwah.